I can't even remember the last time I've made a video because, yeah, it is summertime and, yeah, people have lives, or some people have lives, and some people have things to do. The last time I made a video because. And let me mute that real quick. So, I've always been talking about making a solo podcast or spearheading something and, think about ideas, air dash, blah, 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 whatever. And you think about it, whenever you're talking about gaming, you're kind of at the mercy of gaming. And you've kind of seen that within Weapon Wheel podcasts lately. If there's a lot going on with gaming, like E3, you can have an amazing, interesting, intriguing, engaging podcast. But sometimes gaming is lame. Sometimes games aren't really coming out. Sometimes there's more exciting things in life other than gaming. There's more interesting things in life other than gaming. And sometimes, you just don't even feel like talking about gaming. So, constant Google searches, constant looking over of names and titles, like, the Book of Bond, the last chapter, Air that, a lot of nice, interesting names that, you could think of for a podcast. But then you gotta, dial it back and be like, what do I like in life? What makes me tick in life? What am I passionate about? What I like talking about? Life, because everybody has one, hopefully. Sports, because you all know I am a sports junkie. I love sports. I talk about sports all the time. And what you've probably subscribed to before, and that's gaming. So I was like, LGS, nobody's taking it. Life, sports, gaming, nobody's taking it. It's what I want to be about. This is what my life pretty much is about. If I had a fourth acronym, it would probably be women, but we can't do life gaming sports or life sports gaming and women. We'll just do life sports gaming. How about that? So, these are the things I like to talk about. These are the things I'm passionate about. Call it an online life documentary of my views and my opinions, because everybody's always asking me, what do I think about this? What do I think about this politics? What do I think about this situation? What do I think about the World Cup? What are my views about this game? What are my views about this policy, about this practice? And I am pretty vocal on Twitter. Very vocal on Twitter. Bond, you don't play games. I've seen your PSN and Xbox Live. Is this a real comment? Does he know that I primarily play on PC? Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a brand new build. A Corsair Crystal 280X. With the tempered glass and the LL140 RGB LED fans going on. And let's let me show you that real quick, because you can change to red, you can change to orange, you can change to yellow, green, midnight green, baby blue, pink. We can make it white. We can turn it off. We can make it multicolor. As you can see, my headphone stand, it also changes. My keyboard and my mouse pad, they also change. The mouse is a Death Adder Elite, and the speakers are the Razer Nomo. Those have RGB as well, but they run on the Razer Synapse, which is a crap program compared to Corsair. But Corsair doesn't really have any suitable speakers, and I'm sorry, I'm not really a big Razer fan, but nothing to me beats the Death Adder Elite. That's just me. But back to what I was saying. When you concentrate only on gaming can be stagnant and boring. But for life, sports, and gaming to all be boring at the same time really can't happen. One of those three has to be real interesting. And if life isn't interesting, then, well, you might be boring. But something like this can easily have room for guests of any time. Just hypothetically, Jack could come on here. We could talk about sports and basketball. Alex could come on here. We could talk about exercising and working out. Erica can come on here. We can talk about women in gaming, life, whatever we want to talk about, we can. Link to your speakers, please. I'll link everything at the end of the podcast. I'll go through my whole setup because I do intend to do a complete setup or a tutorial or build or whatever you want to call it. We'll do that later. But yeah, this podcast, really, I'm not trying to compete with anybody, and I know perfectly well that there are people that honestly won't give a damn about what I have to say about life or sports. They really just want to hear my gaming opinions, but it is what it is. And I do plan on making a concrete schedule on a concrete day. It's good to be disciplined. It's good to be in a routine, but any future concrete plans will be purely coincidental. I don't plan on competing with anybody or going up against any other shows or putting this on next to anybody else's time slot. Wherever it goes, it will be purely coincidental. That's it. But yeah, let's talk about life. Let's talk about summer. Hopefully everybody's having a good summer. This summer to me has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I've been hanging out in Philly, been doing the Sea Isle thing, been doing Margate, just came back from Chicago, just came back from a wedding. Next month, we're going to Vegas. Vento Ario, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, that is coming out this fall, and you know I'm a huge JoJo fan. I can't wait for Giovanni. I mean, yeah, people, come on, enjoy that summer. Philly has a lot to do. I mean, from the restaurant scene to the Spruce Street Harbor to Bach Bar, rooftop bars. I mean, it's Philly. But one thing I will say about Philly is no Chicago. There must be some hidden Arkham Asylum area of Chicago because everywhere I've been in Chicago has been absolutely beautiful and absolutely incredible. From the boat tours, from the Hancock Tower, to the Drake Hotel, to Hub 51, to all the bars, locations, restaurants, and everything. Outside drinks being $20 a pop at some restaurants and some locations, Chicago is absolutely phenomenal. I have never felt like a bigger peasant in my entire life outside of visiting Chicago. On these boat tours, you have bars and restaurants along the canals. You have they're talking about literal condos and things like that cost $2.5 million for gated communities of age 70 and up. And you're just like, damn, 2.5 million. And there was literally like this rust bucket condo on the river. And I'm looking at my boy. My boy is a UPenn Harvard Law lawyer, top of his class, absolute genius. One question away of his 1600. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, man, these buildings haven't been bought or sold in 40 years, and they're finally sold. And I'm like, I wonder what rent costs on these things. Probably like, or rent or mortgage, probably like $3,300 a month. And he's like, yeah, probably. The properties are $1.5 million for beat up, rundown properties on the river. Nico Bellic, Black Bond, you were in the downtown area. Come to South Side or the West Side inner city areas. You'll see the absolute savagery in Chicago. Yeah, I mean, I guess I wasn't there. I mean, I can't really say everything, but why do we have a faceless guy who we already know who you are saying, why am I not showing my face? Because maybe I don't want to. You already know what I look like. I don't hide. But yeah, you can go enjoy your summer. You don't need to watch my channel anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I really want to go to Chicago again. I mean, I talked about it with a bunch of my friends. I've never had any intention of moving away from the immediate East Coast, but Chicago is just like, definitely could see myself moving to Chicago. I mean, you guys tell me about Chicago. Anybody there? Tell me what some recommendations there. I mean, Chicago is just like, we went to a bar. Damn, what was it called? It began with an F. They gave us shot glasses, but the shot glasses were made of ice. And when you take the shot, then you throw out a bell. shatter your ice glass by throwing your ice shot glass at a bell outside. Yeah, I've never seen a city cleaner than Chicago either. I don't know either. And then it hits me like they're making all these buildings, they're making all this construction and everything. And then it's like, wait, why are we spending 2.5 million here, 1 billion here, 3 billion here, 500 million here? And then yet I hear about Arkham City, the other side of Chicago, that needs help. And then you realize, people aren't going to put money into the hood. People are putting into money where they can make money. And that's the unfortunate truth. Give me 1 second, everybody. Trying to also make plans for the weekend. But yeah, Chicago is absolutely phenomenal, amazing. But other places I've gone to, before I move on, the Drake Hotel. The Drake Hotel is absolutely fire. Cannot complain about that. That is where the wedding venue took place, and that is absolutely insane. Like, prices also absolutely insane. Other situations happened that night. Wondering, do I want to keep the show PG or go into the a little more interesting things? Let's just say, after the wedding, my one boy is 6'7", my other boy is about 6'3", I'm 6'4". We walk into a bar. People are like, "Well, where are you guys coming from?" Instantaneously, my boy is like a business trip. I look at him like, "Yo, let's run it. Let's run it." Outside Chicago, been doing my whole, beach scene, Sea Isle. Sea Isle is also another phenomenal small town on the Jersey Shore. Good places, good food, good scenery, shenanigans. The OD. Where else do we go? Avalon's up there. The Sea Isle is just amazing in itself. I mean, you really can't complain about being that close to the beach. You really can't. Miniature golf. I mean, drinks aren't too expensive. Margate. Margate's always fun, especially good restaurants like Tomatoes. You have May Nerds. Always pronounce that wrong, but yeah, that place is its own different kind of beast. I will say its own different beast. Definitely its own different beast. Vegas is coming up at the end of August. Cannot wait for that. I've never been to Vegas before. Vegas should be good. Seattle 3 times. Doesn't want to go fourth. I've never been to the West Coast. A great exposure. That would be definitely be a thing I'd be looking at though. Outside of Vento Arroyo, or Ario, I'm sorry. Definitely looking forward to One Punch Man season 2. Cannot wait for One Punch Man season 2. Finished the webcomic and literally reread the entire manga, the Murata manga, front to back in 2 days. And like, I just want to see the conclusion of that arc with Garo, because Garo is an absolute beast. Don't care what anybody else says. Those are the two I'm looking forward to. Outside of that, only mangas I really read are My Hero. Ippo is just absolutely terrible now because Ippo is just a clown of a character worse than Ichigo. Diamond No Ace. Ace of Diamonds is always a must read, a must weekly read. Sawamura is just my favorite character right now. Why am I ignoring NPCs? Because you're the same people over and over and over. I've heard a lot about the 7 Deadly Sins. That's legit. On par with Hunter Hiatus. That's interesting. I've heard a lot about Black Clover. Haven't really got into Black Clover. Seen it on Toonami a couple times, but moving on from that, one thing I do want to talk about is like this whole cop calling thing. And with white people, or I would say discriminatory, because I won't go full blown racist, even though we can allude that they are. But this whole cop calling thing is absolutely insane. Kids getting the cops called on them for for selling candy, kids selling water, getting the cops called on. I mean, like, who doesn't sell lemonade? We threw a party in Seattle, had like 80 people at a house. The little boy next door was selling lemonade. We all went over, gave him $5, bought lemonade, made that little boy's day. It never occurred in my mind to ever even think of calling the cops on this little boy selling lemonade. If anything, he's doing the community a service, trying to keep us hydrated. I mean, you got kids getting the cops called on them for mowing lawns, for delivering papers, dudes paying rent at their own place of living, swimming in the pool they pay $1,600 for rent for, getting the cops called on them. I mean, chick is studying in a dorm room. She gets the cops called on her. Woman was reading in a restaurant, got attacked by a dude throwing chairs at her. You can't even wait at a Starbucks nowadays. Like, what is going on in today's society? Well, like what are people doing that their lives are so boring that they just like, unless like you're outside like selling drugs in front of my place of living, or like, getting into a fight or vandalizing or terrorizing, like I just don't have time to call the cops on people, let alone grilling. And oh, I'm sorry, you can't grill here. Your food smells too good. Like, when did this just all of a sudden start to happen? That people just, have so much time on their hands that have nothing else going on, that they're just going to call the cops on people. And I've already talked to my boys about this. Like, if anybody ever calls the cops on me, I am pressing charges for attempted murder. Because that's exactly what it is. These people are trying to call law enforcement on you because they know you're already agitated, that they're doing something stupid. They're hoping that they get a rogue cop, and they hope that you being agitated plus a rogue cop creates an even further disastrous situation that makes it even worse for you. That's all it really is. I mean, was that a guy or a woman that was, wearing a Puerto Rican shirt, and he's getting harassed and the cop is just standing by doing nothing? It's like, what are we doing as a people, as a country? Like, what is happening? Real J Stone, I understand, like, it is the old generation that still exists, but it's the young people too. It's definitely the young people too. It's crazy. I mean, you have Sterling Brown parked his car, getting tased and tackled by 7 cops. You had a guy sitting down on the curb. They shot him in the back with a taser. How about that one guy in the hotel room where they told him to come out, and he was crawling, crying, pleading for his life? Obviously, he's not going to be able to follow any kind of concrete instructions, and they just shot him. Shot him in cold blood. We got, I mean, you really can't blame the swatting on the police. I mean, that's an entirely different situation altogether, but like, there's got to be laws against calling the cops for dumb crap. And what I'm really worried about is if somebody calls the cops, too many people call the cops for dumb things, that dispatchers are gonna ignore it. They're not gonna prioritize it. They're not gonna do their job with a sense of urgency, because it's like the boy who cried wolf. And then unfortunately, when something bad does happen, they're gonna be lackadaisy about it, and then bad stuff is gonna happen, and the cops that really need to do something aren't going to get there in time. Shout out to Tony Wood 25. Appreciate the donation. That's what I fear is going to happen. But it's just absolutely insane. I don't know what's going on. As far as sports go, Phillies, first place. You have that. Hopefully we get Machado. It has been a long, hot, strenuous trip for the Phillies after the whole Rollins, Howard, Utley era. And I hear that Chase Utley is announcing his retirement, so There you go. You know, he's a legend of Philly at least. Will he be a Hall of Famer? Who knows? As far as the Sixers go, they're really not making any moves. I really had high hopes for LeBron. If we couldn't get LeBron, I had high hopes for Paul George. And now I have high hopes for Kawhi. But the problem with Kawhi is he only wants to go to LA. If Kawhi wanted to sign on for 3 years, I would say give the Spurs what they want, bring in Kawhi. Machado better not go to the Yankees. Forget that. As far as the World Cup goes, how can we not even qualify for the World Cup? But yet Croatia is in the finals. They have like 4 to 8 million people in that little ass country. They're in the finals, and we can't even qualify. That is absolutely absurd. As far as the Lakers go, I mean, they're making moves. They're making moves. I mean, IT is making yet another move. Lance Stevenson's coming in. I'm cool with that. He's a good role player. Rondo's coming in. I bet you Lonzo and LeVar and the Ball family are they're sweating that move. Yeah. They really need Kawhi. I mean, their plan is to not beat Golden State at their own game, but, try to be physical, try to be locked down, try to get a bunch of two-way defenders. They need Kawhi. They need him. Speaking of Chicago, do you think that the rookie on the Bulls will help make the team get a comeback? No, I don't. It will be embarrassing if Croatia gets the World Cup earlier than the Netherlands, earlier than America. What else can I say? But, yeah. The Lakers and the Magic Man and Magic. I mean, Magic, he really trolled us, people. He really did troll us. When he said that Genie Boss was going to have to fire him or would not have to fire him, that he would resign if he didn't get a start in 2 years, we should have known then that he either had Kawhi, Paul George, or LeBron in the hook. It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, outside of basketball, football is getting a little crazy. The Rams are looking extra tough. The Cowboys are looking extra weak. My Eagles coming off a Super Bowl champion. This is the 1 year I've never been shamed, humiliated, disappointed, upset, embarrassed, and just let down by my Eagles. And I'm like, wow, I don't even know what to do. I'm not even excited about football. But then we have LeSean McCoy. Oh, man. LeSean better hope that he did not put out a hit on his ex-girlfriend. I mean, I'm not understanding this situation. He asked for the jewelry back. She won't give him back the jewelry. He tells her to get out of his home. She won't leave his home. I mean, she's not on the lease. She's not on the home deed. I don't understand why LeSean can't just, call the cops to have her physically removed, but I digress. I don't really know what's going on. I did go to school with LeSean. I did go to Pitt also with Fitzgerald was there when I was there. Darrell Revis, he was also there. That one guy that used to play on the Spurs, the Mavericks, that had no ACLs, DeJuan Blair, he was also there. So, yeah, I've run into a couple athletes here and there at University of Pitt. But, yeah, it just kind of seems coincidental that he's not in the area. A home invasion happens. There's no forced entry. They just were able to easily and swiftly get in. They were targeting specific jewelry and items, and the girl wouldn't give them up, and she got pistol whipped and the crap beat out of her. Then they say that he's on steroids. He kicked his dog. He was abusing his dog. He abused his son. It's like insane. I have no idea what's going on, but Chip Kelly had it all wrong. He thought that Deshaun Jackson was the gangster and everything, but really shady. That's why his mom calls him shady. Definitely has some shady mood swings. That's pretty cool. Markel Fultz was from your high school. I mean, I really wish we had Jason Tatum, but we got to see what Markel Fultz will do. Finishing up on sports. The New Japan Pro Wrestling G1. If you're not subscribed to New Japan World and you're into wrestling, I don't know what you're doing. The G1 is absolutely insane. Whoa. Great exposure. You got to go. I'm wrapping up in 5 minutes. Great exposure. You can stick around. Stick around. You can like it. You can tweet it. You can shout it out. I don't like the Yankees or the Red Sox, but yeah, New Japan Pro Wrestling, can't even speak. New Japan World. It is their WWE network. Highly recommend it. Subscribe to it. The G1 is on. You will not be disappointed. But wrapping us up in the gaming, Octopath Traveler. Damn, I want to play that game. Reminds me of the good old days, the bygone era. Super Nintendo RPGs, PlayStation 1, pre-Final Fantasy VII JRPGs. But unfortunately, I got to finish up God of War. And then I had to do The Last of Us. So it might be a while before I get to that game. Anime Central is a very good channel. He is an OG. But I need to get through God of War and The Last of Us before I get to Octopath. Or maybe I'll just buy Octopath and, play it in the meantime. But, Trails of Cold Steel 2. The Trails series is also always a good series. But definitely want to get into the Octopath thing. I'm excited for it. I have not touched the Switch since day one. Xenoblade 2 runs like absolute trash. They refuse to fix it, so what can I do? What can I say? But I'm excited for Octopath Traveler, and yeah, that's all there is to it. I really don't care what anybody else says. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a intensive game, so my Switch won't blow up, crack, or bend, or warp, or snap on me, so that'll be good. On to Nintendo Retro Studios. The guy brought this up on Weapon Wheel. I believe Retro Studios is absolutely dead. If they're not dead, they need to be canceled, canned. I mean, you go 6 years without announcing a game, you need to be let go. There is no ROI on Retro Studios. There isn't. And whatever they're building should have been announced. I mean, whatever they're making, whenever they announce it, we're 2 years out from their game of whenever they announce it. So at minimum, we're 8 entire years from a game. I don't see how people can game on the Switch at lunch at work. I like to relax and eat. Yeah, that's what I like to do. So I don't know what Retro is doing, but yeah, they need to they need to get rid of them. Consolidate the studios from the best developers to different Nintendo studios and just get rid of it. It pains me to say this, but Retro is nothing but a one-hit wonder. A one-hit wonder with with Metroid. The formula for Donkey Kong Country was already made in the Super Nintendo days, so it's not like they created it. They just, enhanced it, updated it, and polished it. Crossplay, we really don't even need to go into that. It is what it is. Am I disappointed that Sony's not on board? Yeah, they should get on board. Is it really that big of a deal? No, there's other things we could be bitching and complaining about, like actually getting good games or exclusives. But yeah, crossplay is what crossplay is. I would like it. You hear that Ys 8 is fixed on PC. That's definitely good. I do want to get into that game. Definitely want to get there. I believe I talked about this on Twitter. Patreon hardware donations, and I have multiple Corsair cases. I believe a 600G or 600D. I have an Air 240. I have multitudes of Corsair fans. I have a Light Up Pro Corsair unit. I have a L 120 or 140, whatever the stock fan is. I have a G506. I have a Myonix caster. I have motherboards. I have hard drives. I have a lot of stuff I have no need for. And I just want to make a Patreon tier to give this stuff away to the people. I do see the WWE signing the Young Bucks at one point in time, yes. But again, I have a ton of stuff. I want to get rid of it. I want to give it away. So $1 tier, $5 tier, whatever it takes. I mean, I want to get rid of it. You guys could use it. You guys could want it. Let's do a Patreon. Let's, give it to people that support the show, that support the product. Here's one of my favorite topics of today. YouTube banning accounts for Twitch promotions. Now, if that's not petty, if that is not petty, I mean, they didn't even announce it. I mean, I know it's in their TOS and their terms of use and everything, but come on now. Like that is petty. That's super petty. I'm looking at my computer right now. I mean, you probably can't see it like I do, but like that's a fresh, clean build. I mean a clean build. And you ain't gonna get one like that. It's a clean build. But outside of YouTube banning accounts for Twitch promotions, Twitch is banning streamers for using slurs, which they should. But yet you have the streamers claiming that language has evolved and that time has changed with language. And that to me is absolutely insane. The N-word is always the N-word. A slur is always a slur outside the C word in Australia. Like, these edgelords are just absolutely insane. Defending slurs. Let me reiterate that. Defending slurs. It is a slur for a reason. You cannot defend a slur. You cannot defend the usage of a slur. They go, oh, well, I don't have any hate in my heart. I don't use it in a bad way. Why are you using it at all? If you're not going to use it in a bad way, find a different word to use in a good way. Why use a bad word in an attempted good way? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, again, it's these fratanga, rags, clowns, these teenage high school social rejects that want to be edgelords and do all this stupid crap. And Mega Man 11 will be day one. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, it looks like trash, but I'll get it because I know it'll play well at least. But these edgelords, they just really need to come to terms with reality. It's just absolutely insane. Stupid. God of War, still streaming it. Don't mind it. Love it. It's good. I really need to get on it. Steam sales, I mean, I bought Battletech, as you know, I'm a Battletech MechWarrior fan. Bought Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 15, and Final Fantasy 4 the after years, and didn't really buy too much else. And as far as Weapon Wheel goes, it's the slow season, but Weapon Wheel is, trudging along. We are lining up developer interviews, so look out for that. BG, you really need to get on CD Projekt Red. I'd love to interview those guys. I would. But yeah, all in all, people, nice, quick little 30-minute podcast. Maybe we'll do it once a week. Who knows? But, enjoy your summer. Enjoy your vacations. Try to live your life, people. Try to enjoy your life. I mean, we had a guy today, right? Says he's only seeing his family twice a year since he's been out of college. And what is he doing on Twitter? Complaining about another man's content he doesn't even like. Like, what are you doing? We got dudes up on here making half-an-hour videos for over other men over the internet, claiming that they have timed uploads and scheduled uploads. Well, is your tweet at 3 a.m. also scheduled? Yeah, don't think so. So, yeah. People, I mean, I know we're all like nerds and geeks and things like that. We all play video games, but at least try to enjoy your life. Try. It's Friday, people. Go out and have fun. Enjoy your night. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.